All right, good morning. Today is August 1st of 2024, and this will be the first day of the monthly candle. We'll be going over yesterday's price action as well as today's outlook. Yesterday though there was expansion. There was absolutely no entry whatsoever until later on during FOMC, but like I said, during FOMC, I decided to trade paper as opposed to taking real trades. I did take one, which was just ill-advised, and I just quickly closed it, thankfully. Yeah, let's go over yesterday's price action real quick. So yesterday we did have a draw higher. This is expansion displacement, and it does make sense because, as I had explained, I think I've explained it a few times anytime I've done a morning review, but on ES we were holding above a busy buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, and as you can see here, price traded into this area and then drew higher. Same thing here, price traded into this busy here and then traded higher. Weekly busy. We closed above the body of this candle. And as I always say, it's okay if price trades through the body of this candle as long as it closes and opens above consequent encroachment, but better yet, it open and closed above the body of this candle, above the open of this candle. So with that said, I am my bias is now bullish. I had actually expected price to not run all of these lows, but maybe trade a little lower before it reversed. And as you can see, price did reverse yesterday, creating displacement to the upside. NQ has the lower high, actually has the lower low, and ES has the higher low. So that is SMT in essence on the weekly. So on the monthly, we're bullish. On the weekly, we are now bullish. We're still bullish on the weekly. And this just confirms to me that we are in back into bullish conditions now. On the daily, we do have these equal lows, but I don't think those will get ran until we test the highs here. Same thing here. I don't think those, actually, no, not here. These aren't equal lows. We did close, we did trade into consequent encroachment and drew higher. And one of the things I should have looked at yesterday was, even though we did close below this old low, the close below that was very minuscule. And when that happens, you have to keep in mind that a reversal might be incoming. And that's exactly what happened. We do have a displacement higher. So here we have a breakup structure, and then we have a breaker here. So that in essence is a unicorn. Here we did run these lows down here, and then price reversed. Okay, so for yesterday's price action, again, yesterday there was no actual entry off the open. We did have, I guess, a minor retracement into this area, and I did see something here, but I decided not to take that. Those are not my types of setups, and you just have to let it go when you don't see your setup. Yeah, just let it go and come back at different macros to see if maybe a setup was designed for you. I came back for the 11 o'clock macro, but as you can see here, there was no displacement higher, even though it did draw higher and took out these highs. There really was no entry. As you can see here, all of these areas are just immediate rebalances, leaving no room for a gap anywhere. There was a gap here, but obviously if you're going to take it here and cover this high, there's really no, I don't know, I just don't see the value of it. You might have been able to get 20 points, but that's not, I did not like that, let's just say that. Let's take a look at the 1 minute. Oh yeah, and on the 60-minute, like I said, all you have is displacement higher. You have nothing. You have a few gaps here that I believe will get tested eventually, just not, I don't think today we will get these tested, because again, this right here is the unicorn setup. Same thing here. unicorn setup. On the 4-hour, you can also see it. So I do expect this area to be retested, sort of similar to this right here. Unicorn setup, trades into the inversion as well as this gap here, and then price draws higher after that. So that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I'll expect going in the near future here. Whether it happens today, tomorrow, or next week, I'm not sure, but I do expect that area to get tested. Now, if for some reason it doesn't get tested, then I will look at this as a breakaway gap on the daily, because on the daily we do have this breakaway gap, and as you can see, it never got tested. And when that happens, price is tipping its hand to you that price is weak. So when you have something like that, you do want to get in areas after you get a second gap or whatever. But yeah, that's the market tipping its hand to you that market is weak. So same concept down here. As you can see here, this gap was never closed, and price displaced after that. So we'll see. We'll see if these gaps remain open. I do believe that these gaps remain open. And if we get a retracement, then it'll probably only be up to this gap over here or similar here. This gap here. This gap won't get filled if I'm being if I'm reading it correctly. So let's take a look at the 1 minute. Again, no entry whatsoever. No entry here. Like I said, I did see this inverse here. And then price drew higher. We do have this tiny gap here, but again, I wasn't looking for something like this. I was looking for, I guess you could say, more efficient price delivery. We do have a violation. We do have a new dealing range here, and I could have used this one. Yeah, I could have used this one, but obviously I didn't. And if you would have gotten long, this would have been the entry with the previous day high as the targets. But I didn't see a good setup here. We do have this inversion here, and I did point this out yesterday. But again, look at this move. Nothing but wicks. So if you were in here, it would have taken a lot of your emotional capital away from you. And I wasn't willing to deal with that. And so we come back into the 11 o'clock macro. I like this setup. I like the fact that we ran this high and then we ran this low, creating a new dealing range on the 1 minute. And so I started looking for something here. I started looking for expansion, but as you can see here, after we created a market structure shift here, there was no gap except for here. But then we ran that low as well, and the only other one would have been here, so you could target this high. But again, it's really, the risk reward is not within reason there. And as you can see here, so many different so many wicks above and below. So that kind of means that the market, it doesn't mean, but I assume that the market was very skittish about whether to get long or short. And so I really didn't want to take a position. So we come into FOMC. All right, at FOMC you expect something big to happen, and I don't like taking the trade until after 14:30, because 14:30 is when he starts talking. And then you give it about 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then that's when you get the actual setup. And so we had this dip down below. We had a new dealing range, and we had market structure shift at exactly 1400. And I actually saw this, and I ended up taking a paper trade, covered here, and then the last one here. Yeah, this one. It was this one. No, wait, which one was it? Yeah, oh no, never mind. It was this one. And the reason why I decided to enter there was because the risk reward was definitely the risk reward was well worth it, because as you can see, price traded into extreme discount right at market structure shift, and there's actually an entry here on the 3 or 2 minute, one of those two, and then price ran these highs. But again, this was 30 minutes before FOMC, and as soon as FOMC started, you kind of had this this type of price action, and I didn't like that. So I decided to leave it alone. Okay, so let's take a look here. Okay, so uh, by the way, I'm never trading on the 30-second again. I made that mistake yesterday, and that was right here actually, because I had expected price to draw higher, but I didn't. I forgot to. Um, uh, I forgot to include this old low here. So if you zoom into the 30-second, you'll see that I noticed the setup. Uh, There you go. That's why I took. That's why I don't keep it in my list, because sometimes your ego gets in the way, and then you start thinking of dumb things to do. So we got to draw lower, sweep these couple of lows into a three drive pattern. You get displacement higher, create market structure shift, and you enter here. I should have covered as soon as we had that. As soon as we had that, I put my my stop right here. Yep, right below this low, because I did not want price to come down here, and obviously I got in right here and got stopped real quick. So that was about a what? No, about a 2 point loss, and I'm okay with that. Let's see here. Yeah, and I'm okay with that. So once I noticed prices placed lower, I began to start thinking that if we were to sweep this low, then I would like for price not to sweep this low, retrace, and then sweep it. And that's exactly what happened. As you can see, we retraced back into 50%. We didn't sweep this low, and I got in right here on a micro actually, and that was enough to make that initial loss here. And so break even on the day basically. Other than that, I didn't really take no other trades, because as you can see, none of the setups made sense to me. They did not make sense to me, all except for this one. But at this point, I wasn't too sold on the dealing range or the fact that we had retraced into equilibrium, because this was the dealing range here. Actually, equilibrium, as you can see there. So this is the only setup that was available during the morning time frame, but obviously it wasn't on NQ. NQ, we had a higher low. So yeah, this was the only setup, and I'm not what do you call that? I'm not pissed that I missed this one, but because of the fact that the dealing range was on the 1 minute, and that I expected some sort of consolidation more before price really took off. But yeah, so we had expansion overnight, not overnight. We had expansion throughout the whole day, and when you have that sort of expansion, you don't necessarily need you shouldn't expect for price to be as fluid the next day, because you had a whole day of expansion. So I'm expecting for the Asia and London session to have consolidated. If we continue to drive higher, then I will expect seek and destroy during the morning New York session. Yeah, that's what I expect today. If we had expansion overnight, if we didn't have expansion overnight and we consolidated, then I'll still be nimble in the fact that I'll want highs and lows to have gotten swept. We are in bullish order flow now, so I will only look to take longs unless there's clear displacement to the downside. But even on the downside, I'll only look to take profit at 50%. If I identify bullish order flow, then I'll look to get long. So we'll see what happens today based off of what happened overnight. So let's take a look and connect. All right. Actually, I can remove this now as well because I don't need it. And I can remove this as well because we are far away from that price action. These I kept as old lows. I will want to see what price did in these areas, and these are the objectives if prices draw higher. All right. So we did close. We actually didn't just yet. We still have a little bit to close on this void. We haven't drawn into this high yet, so that's good. So in that case, this would be my first objective, along with the session highs. If we run into this, let me go ahead and change this to an old low. Old PDL. We already ran this, so again, this will be the next area. And so, yep, let's leave it at that. Let's put this here as the next objective. I don't think I will need to, but that's fine. So we do, again, I do believe that we do leave a gap here to then tackle the highs. So I'm going to leave that as is. Maybe we might get a quick draw into here maybe tomorrow or whenever, but I do believe the next draw are the highs from now on. So I don't expect price to come down to here. If it does come down to here, then I'm not going to be looking for anything. So let's take a look at the 4 hour. So here we do have a new dealing range here. 4 or 1 hour, whatever you might want to call it, because we swept this low, swept this high. So now this is the new dealing range on the lower time frames. Same thing here. I can change this to this right here. And in essence, this is a unicorn setup. Same thing here, unicorn setup on the 4 hour, right there. Okay. So yeah, unicorn setup. I do believe here on the 4 hour we are closing above this gap. I don't think we'll get this area tested, because again, I do want this gap to remain open. If this gap remains open on the daily, then that gives us a stronger reason to start tackling the highs. Okay. All right. So there's no gap here. There's a tiny. There was a liquidity void here after yesterday. Yesterday opened on the futures at 1800. We did open a little higher, and obviously we're not closing below it or within it. We're actually closing above it, so that's good. So you know what? Let's go ahead and mark it here. And it doesn't look like we ran any other lows besides the gap. This is the tiny liquidity void that I was talking about. Let's take a look at the 60-minute. All right. Okay, so on the daily, on the 1 hour, we did sweep this high here. We traded into an imbalance, so we are trading lower now. So in essence, on the 1 hour, we are on a bearish price action. Here we have SMT, and we are tackling these lows here. So it's logical for price to run these lows here. Okay. Nothing here. Let's go ahead and write this. Okay. I kind of like this model for a short. Okay. Yep. I kind of like this. I don't want this one to get swept yet, but I'm just still looking here. Let's take a look at the. So we'll see how price does here. Right here. There's no gap here, but there's a gap here. I want to see what price does here. Not saying price will draw into this area, but I do want to see how price will behave after it runs these lows. Let's take a look at the 15. Okay, so we do have this. We do have displacement lower. So this is my area of interest at the current moment. I want to see what price does here. I don't want price to sweep this low yet. I want price to close up here somewhere and then tackle this high for me to then tackle the lows. So as it stands, this is sell side liquidity right now. This is sell side liquidity. Sell side liquidity. We did run this high here, so this is the dealing range at the current moment on the lower time frame. So we do have this right here. Okay, so that's the current model for now. I do want to see price trade within this area for then, so I could maybe get in and then tackle the lows. Because we swept this area of liquidity, swept this liquidity here. Here we haven't yet, but we did hold within a gap here. We are still holding within this displacement lower. So again, the lower time, I mean the lows are my area of interest. I do like this area. So if I get in here, actually the candle hasn't even closed yet, but if I take a short here, I will want to see how price trades within these gaps. If they slice through, then these lows are the target. If price slices through this gap, then the target is this low. So we have about 8 minutes until this candle closes. Even if it closes, I guess below consequent encroachment, that's fine with me, as long as it doesn't close up here somewhere. See here, yep. Okay, yeah, I like that. I like this this morning trade because again, this is sell side liquidity. And then once price sweeps these lows, I will expect for price to reverse. Took these, didn't take these. So it looks like NQ is the weaker of the two. So yeah, let's just keep watching here. I don't see any reason as to why price should reverse here. There's no discernible price action for me here to make a case for a bullish run. No, I don't see anything. Okay, so it does seem like we're setting up for a Judas swing. Oh, I did almost forget this. Let's take a look where price is. Okay, so price already did this, right? Price already traded into midnight open. Oh darn, don't tell me. All right, here we go. Here we go. I believe that's New York Open. Here it is. Nope. 9:45 right here. You know what? Let's do that and add a newer one. Set this one up as New York Open. There we go. And midnight. The reason why I like to lock these is because it just makes it easier for me. Because sometimes my clicks do tend to be sticky, and unknowingly I sometimes click on the wrong drawing. It's this midnight open. Yep, right here. And as you can see, price already did that. And here, all right, here it is. Okay, so again, I would like for price to test at least New York Open or this area here so I could get short. Liquidity swept. So order flow right now is bearish on the lower time frame. So I'll look to get short on the 1 minute again, and to target these lows down here. Again, I don't want these lows to get swept, at least not until we test this area of interest up here. And it does look like we are going to close below this area. So we'll see how price decides to trade within this area. What is this one again? I think this is the 4 hour. Yep, it's the 4 hour, 60-minute. And yep, as you can see here, we closed and opened below constant encroachment. It's still within an acceptable parameter. But again, we'll see what price does here. I do want to see how price reacts in this area. We did trade into this gap here, but I don't trust the fact that we ran this liquidity. If price didn't run this liquidity, then I would expect price to bounce here, but it hasn't. So I'm going to expect to get short in this area. So we'll see. Okay. Yep. That's what I'm seeing here. Here we have inducement. So price may decide to even come up here. I don't know why the midpoint of the it is showing everywhere else. Let's take a look at something else. Yeah, weird. Yeah, let's go ahead and remove this. I don't know why. There you go. No, not this one. It's another box. Oh, I can just delete this one. Oh, this is the one right here. There we go. Okay, so we have 1 minute till the open. There we go. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I want to see what price does here within these price areas here. I want to see what price does here as well. The gap kind of closed a bit, but again, we'll see. I want to get in at discount of this range. So we'll see. I do want price to come back into this area and then for price to draw into the low. So we'll see. Okay, let me go ahead and get some orders ready for ES. And that's all I'm looking for. 81.25 is going to be my first, and the stop is going to be, it's a pretty big, yep, 81.25. Let me get these orders ready. Okay. All right, so I have orders ready here at 81.25, 82, and then 82.75. So we'll see. We'll see if we get filled. All right, just filled one. Although it didn't really sweep into that area just yet, but we are at equilibrium. So my first target would be this low. And I am in at 82 as well. Yep, there we go. And finally 83. Okay, so I'm in there. Again, this is for the 0930 open, so I'm looking for faster price delivery than this. We are looking at the 15-minute here, so I'll look at this as the lower time frame. Again, I am taking my first one down here, and then the next one's down here. Let's take a look at the 1 minute, see how that one's doing. I don't see anything here. I mean, we do have a sweep of these lows. So, but I still like the fact that we swept these lows over here. So let's just keep watching. And since we are trading within bullish price action, I am looking for I am trading with micros. All right, so NQ just traded into 50% of that range. And I want to see how price reacts here. This could be another area of interest. Okay, I'll leave that there. And again, my final stop is if price starts closing above here. And New York Open. Okay, so New York Open it would be the final entry if we are to draw lower first. Okay, well I added some more. So I'm in total 5 contracts on the micros, so we'll see. And that makes it even easier for me to choose my stop as this high over here. If this high gets broken, then that means that this intermediate term high was wrong, and I am wrong on my trade idea. So that's why I'm watching this area here. The fact that we did not sweep this high makes my case for a bullish price run stronger. So I'm going to put my stop at 88.50. All right, let's put it at 89. Actually 88.75. And if I get stopped again, they're micro, so I'm not too concerned with that. So let's see. Ideally, I would like for price to close below this area on the 15-minute. Okay, on NQ we do have relative equal lows, so yeah, let's just keep watching. Well, NQ did run this low, so we'll see. It might seem that it looks like we might get stopped here, but still watching. And it looks like we're going to get stopped here. Don't tell me that's a double top. Okay, NQ is trading above constant encroachment as well, so we'll see. Still just watching. Let's go ahead and all right. Wait, what just happened? Oh wait, where was my stop? 88.50, 88.75. All right, so it does look like we might get stopped, and that's fine with me. Again, we are in a bullish trend, so the fact that we may sweep these highs is fine with me. I'm just looking at this high as the intermediate term high, and if this intermediate term high gets broken, then that means my bias is wrong for the day, and I could look to participate again in the market after the 10 o'clock macro, during the 10 o'clock macro. But again, we have yet to sweep it, so we're still in the clear. And there. Okay, I'm all out. And I got stopped from that. So obviously the bias was wrong. We're in a bullish market, so it makes sense that price is drawing higher. And this is the reason why I choose, or for the most part, I choose not to trade the 10 o'clock macro. All right, let's take a look and see what we did wrong. Price swept these areas of liquidity. Price swept. Well, we didn't really sweep sell side yet. Okay. Well, it could be that we might still draw something. So, off. Actually, let's go ahead and disconnect. That way we can recharge our eyes. Try it again. Okay, so we have liquidity pool swept here. Well, liquidity pool swept here. This imbalance has been rebalanced. We drew into equilibrium here. Yep, we sure did. Now we are drawing higher. Same thing here. I'm going to remain bearish depending on how price behaves. Yeah, depending on how price behaves going into the 10 o'clock macro. Do we have any news incoming? We do have news incoming at 10, but nothing big. We do have Apple news, and that's why you shouldn't trade until after the 10 o'clock news, because yesterday, or actually the previous day, as you can see here, there was meta news, and those meta news actually swept these lows. And so I am looking for this type of consolidation going into the afternoon session. So the 10 o'clock or the 11 o'clock macro are the best areas of interest if you are looking to trade. Did we sweep this low? 6.3, 4.75. 502. So these are the relative equal lows. So it might be that price decides to sweep these lows first before price draws higher. Only thing I don't like is that price did sweep these lows here. So that could be enough liquidity sweeps for price to then target the highs. Same thing here. Price did sweep these lows for then to price draw higher. But now that we are in bullish order flow, it does make sense that price did draw higher. But the fact that it's below midnight open and New York open, it might just be that these were the areas of discount for them price to target these highs over here. But again, I don't trust this move just yet. So go to the 5-minute. Rebalances, immediate rebalances. 15-minute, right here. So yeah, if we were in a bearish market, then this high wouldn't have been broken. But it did, obviously, and unfortunately, we do take a loss on that. Let's take a look at this one. Okay. All right, so I'll take a look here. Again, I would like for price to sweep these highs, and that would make this one the lower of the weaker of the two, because if this one sweeps this high without sweeping this high, then this would be the long-term high on the lower time frame. for them price to tackle these lows over here. So we'll see what price does or did going into the macro, but I'm gonna give it some more time. Disconnecting helps you reset your, I guess you can say, your bias. So yeah, let's see what price did after it swept those highs. All right, let's take a look now. $60-minute. Okay. Not again. All right, let's go ahead and disconnect and then reconnect again. We ran these highs here. All right, let's take and see what it did here. We ran this high, so that's a 3-drive pattern. So let's see how price does in this area here. So we might be in search, seek, and destroy conditions. So just waiting now. Yeah, okay. All right, I want to see what price does here. Price ran these highs here. Let's take a look at the 1 minute. There we go. So now that's SMT. Yeah, that's SMT because it ran these equal highs here. We have displacement lower, so let's see what we do here. I am going to take a turtle soup entry. Actually, never mind. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see how price closes here. And we are with about halfway through MO. Okay. All right, so I just ended up taking a quick one to see if we displaced lower. And let's take a look at the 5-minute. 15-minute looks good still as well. Yep. Okay, so if I were to take a short, if I were to, okay, so I don't want price to trade back above this area here. Okay, I do want price to leave a gap here. If price leaves a gap here, then I will enter in more. And if it doesn't fill this gap, then I will look to add more down here somewhere. Okay. Let's take a look at the 5-minute real quick because I just noticed something interesting. All right. Okay, so you guys, this gap here, I am now looking for price to displace through this gap here. Ideally, I would like for price to close below this area. This is an older 1-hour gap. We can delete that. Okay. One of these lows, nothing here. This 15-minute does look like we're leaving a gap here. So yeah, I want to see, again, I want to see what price does here. Let's see. Oh, there it is right there. Okay. Okay, well, let's take a look at this. It's the new dealing range. And here we have, this is the new dealing range. Yep, right there. It's the 5-minute right here. Okay, so the reason I'm looking at this 5-minute right here is because obviously the 15-minute hasn't set a gap yet. And it does look like there is a gap below, right below this area. And if that area doesn't get filled, then I will look to for that area to get rebalanced here in the coming within the next macros. So still watching. Again, nothing on the 5-minute and nothing on the 1-minute. There we go. Okay. Okay. And we have 5 minutes until the news. Okay, and it does look like we're going to run this high here. It'd be great if this one doesn't get ran, and then we get displacement maybe. So just now we fully rebalanced that imbalance, which is right here. So let's see. Looks like we are gonna run that area as well. Okay, so it looks like yeah, definitely wrong on the bias, but again, just because I'm wrong on the bias doesn't mean the price is not likely to draw back into that imbalance. Now let me go ahead and add here this area here. Okay, so now, perfect. We're starting to see something within my model. I like this one better, so I want to see how price reacts within this area. Okay. I don't want any bottoms with wicks. I want flat bottoms. And yep, I don't like that. Okay. My entry doesn't have to be perfect as long as I'm correct on the bias or on the draw on liquidity. So let's just keep watching. Okay, so we have 30 seconds until the news release. Let's see if there's anything here that could mess with me. Okay. All right. And we have this as well. Okay. Oh no. And there it goes. I did not set a limit order. I was so close. Okay, so this is the idea. I want price to run through these lows, close down here. If it doesn't, then I will look to get long because this paired with a bullish order block makes a case for price to draw higher with SMT here for price to tackle the highs. If it runs through, then I will be looking to enter on second stage distribution down here. Again, second stage distribution. Second stage distribution are my favorite types of setups. Okay. But it all has to do with how price develops. So my mind right now is just watching, really. It sucks that I didn't get in here. Oh man, it really does. Mm, yep, nothing. Nothing yet. Okay. All right. So we do have SMT between ES and NQ. All right. And I just took a short on NQ right here. And my stop is this high here. Actually, I didn't like that, so I just cut it. All right. Just keep watching then. Now my eye is okay. All right. So I'm seeing something here. Okay. All right. I want price to leave me a gap. Yep, there it is. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, it's best for me to just wait for my setup. All right. Hmm. Okay, so intermediate term low. So this is the market tipping its hand to me. All right, let's go ahead. I know this is out of the blue, but I do like this entry here. All right. Okay, let's see what price does here. I don't want price to come back here. So we have a gap here. Okay, good. All right. Perfect. Okay, great. Perfect. Okay, so the only place where I would like for price to come back is here at the New York Open. Same thing with this one. If price starts closing above 50% of this range, then I'm out. And my entry is, let's see here, 85.75. So right here, actually a little lower. So right here. My first target is here, and these are with minis, so I'm only in with 2. Perfect. I like that we swept through the 15-minute gap. That's good. Perfect. All right. You know what? All right. So I just took them both off. Great entry. Could have been up here, but we did not get that retracement. And when price was down here, you could actually feel how heavy it was. Any quick sudden move up was quickly sent lower. NQ swept these highs. Okay, so the reason why I took ES was because it did not sweep this high. At the same time, NQ did. Let's see here. Yeah, right here. Okay, so this right here. So this is a short-term high, intermediate term high, short-term high, short-term high, intermediate term high, short-term high. I forget which episode it is. I think it's give me a second. Let's take a look here. Which one is it? 2022 episode 12 of his mentorship on ICT's mentorship, and he shows you specifically this. He shows you specifically the relationship between. Oh no! Wait! I think we might have another opportunity here. All right, give me a second. Okay. All right, give me a second. I think I may give it a second shot here. Oh no. Ah, darn. NQ just did. All right, so one more draw into this area, and I'm gonna get into NQ. I would love for a draw on NQ, please. Let me get it. Darn. I love these types of setups after the intermediate term high has been drawn. This is the second stage of distribution. Oh man, this sucks. Because this is the market tipping its hand to you saying, hey, this is where the market's going. And when you have that, as well as the second stage of distribution, oh man, that's a given. Darn, looks like we're not gonna get it. Oh, wait, we might. You know what? Let me add one right here. All right. Well, I just got in at this break. Just one though, just one. One contract is enough. If we come back up to here, then I may add more. So this is my target here. My stop is if price starts closing above 50% of the range. Come on. There we go. Beautiful. Come on. Come on. Hey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hard stop here because this right here to me is a breakaway gap. Yep, this to me is a breakaway gap. Damn it, it's not here. Nope. There he is. Okay, so in theory, this gap should not be traded into. This right here is another gap. So as long as price holds below here, I added right here. Actually, not didn't add. I got into it right here because price already tested 50% of the gap. So even if it comes up here, that's fine. I'm okay losing out on this micro because I did make was 85, 72, so 12 points each. 12 points each on a mini. Yeah, definitely worth it. It's 24 points total. So, yep, definitely good. Okay, so back to this. Okay, so episode 12 of ICT's 2022 mentorship is when price fails to put in fails to break above a short-term high, and the intermediate term high is drawn below it, that's the market tipping its hand to you to get short. And that's exactly what happened here. And I I noticed the I noticed this high too late. I noticed it, I think, right here. And by the time price was down here, I had wanted price to leave a gap without sweeping this low first. And obviously that didn't. That's why I decided to get in here to cover down here. Again, my hard stop is here, so we'll see. Any wick, in essence, is also a gap. So I do suspect price will draw into this wick, but I would not suspect for price to draw through the gap or even into the gap. So we'll see. Okay, and it looks like we are drawing higher. And the 15-minute is about to close here within the next couple of minutes, so we'll see how price closes. And it looks like it's not going to, so that's good. All right. Okay, you know what? I do like this. I do like this. Okay, so uh, now I'm looking for something like this. Uh, yep, that's what I'm looking for. And then for the price to run these lows. Same setup as the one, not yesterday, but the previous day, where price ran displaced lower. So that's what I'm looking for right now. Okay, this is great. This is great. I'm liking this. I think it's safe to say that I am no longer trading the 9:30 open. That was just a stupid play. I did not wait for price to draw itself. So yeah, let's see what happens here. I'm really liking this right here. For me, the draw is down here, so let's just wait. It would have been nice to hold on to another ES contract, but that's fine. I know we are past the macro, um, but I do want to see the 1 minute here. And we haven't swept this low yet, so that's good. Maybe one more candle to a new high here. Then we get the move lower. Again, this is second stage distribution. I don't see anything here. I almost thought about changing to the 30-second, but I don't see, I'm not going to do that. Not after yesterday's. Even though the setup was there, it wasn't, yeah, why trade on the 30-minute anyways? And it might just be the one, but who knows? So I would like one more run past this high. If price runs this low, then that's it. I am hoping it doesn't. Ah, it did. Okay. All right. So I do have my 4.25, 4.50. Okay, so I am setting my stop at 4.75. All right, let's go ahead and set a sell order, a buy order. Okay, done. This is interesting. Price did not close below this area, so a reversal is possible. Let's watch. Usually when price fails to close below a node low, similar to this right here, it reverses. Okay. I am 100% sure if I zoom into the 30-second. So I'll wait. I'll wait until this low is swept to zoom into the 30-second. Yeah, these are seek and destroy conditions because we are sweeping the highs and lows. Okay. So I do like that we haven't swept this low yet. So a retracement is acceptable. Though not acceptable, but not, I don't want it actually. Actually, you know what? 13. So I'm gonna put a stop at 13 now. Because if this is the intermediate term high for the second stage of delivery, then it should not come back up to this high. Now, what is it? 13, right? Yep, 13. Okay, good. All right. All right, come on. Darn, did I get it? No, not yet. Oh, perfect. All right. All right, so that completes the market maker sell model. Man, that was a lot harder than it had to be because my dumbass decided to trade the open. And oh man, I should not trade the open. How many times do I got to say that to myself? Uh, Overall, great trade. Shoulda, coulda, woulda on an extra contract to target these lows, but whatever. Um, Great day, great entry here as well on NQ. ES, not as great as an entry, um, but the fact that I read these swings perfectly made a perfect case for me to draw into the lows. So so yeah, that's it for the morning session. And again, I do expect search and destroy type of price action today. And if we draw lower, maybe into yesterday's 50% of the range, then that is great because then that gives us a reason to get long uh, going into the afternoon session if it happens, because I do believe that now that we are in bullish order flow, the targets are the highs, and I do believe that we hit all-time highs, or at least we flirt with it, maybe with a double top going into the August sessions. But yeah, that's it for today. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.